Hi guys, Cliff Olson, Doctor of Audiology and founder of Applied Hearing Solutions in Phoenix, Arizona. And in this video, I'm talking about the new hearing loss pill that could prevent or even reverse your hearing loss. Coming up. I would guess that if you have hearing loss, at some point in your life, you've wondered, when are scientists going to come up with a cure for hearing loss? I mean, we're in the 21st century and we have reached epidemic levels of hearing loss worldwide. I mean, there are hundreds of millions of individuals around the world who suffer from some form of hearing loss. Unfortunately, we are still fresh off of some bad news about the FX322 hearing restoration drug that showed that there was no significant improvement in hearing versus placebo in their phase 2 clinical trials. But you want to hear some good news? Scientists may actually be closer to a cure than you think. But before I go ahead and get into what this potential cure could possibly be, if you could do me a huge favor and click the like button, it really helps out my channel because it helps these videos get in front of a broader audience because of a positive impact that it has on the YouTube algorithm. And while you're at it, if you have not yet hit the subscription button with notification bell, go ahead and do that as well because that ensures that you never miss one of my new videos. Okay, now let's go ahead and get into what this potential cure could be. Back in the early 2000s, the Huff Ear Institute and the Oklahoma Medical Research Foundation jointly discovered NHPN 1010, which is more commonly known as the hearing loss pill. The intent of this pill is to prevent or even potentially reverse hearing loss. In 2010, these organizations partnered with Auditus, which is a subsidiary of Otologic Pharmaceutics Inc., who completed a phase 1 clinical trial in 2015, which showed that this drug was safe enough to progress to phase 2 clinical trials. Since that time, the Huff Ear Institute identified that this particular drug could regenerate damaged nerve endings and reinnervate surviving hair cells within the cochlea. In early 2020, Otologic Pharmaceutics Inc. entered into an agreement with Oblato Inc., who is going to advance this particular drug through phase 2 clinical trials to show if there's efficacy for preventing hearing loss or restoring hearing. This particular drug is not intended to treat long-standing hearing loss. It's intended to prevent hearing loss or maybe even restore hearing after an acute trauma like a noise exposure. Of course, you can bet that the Huff Ear Institute and all of its partners will continue to perform different trials to identify if this particular hearing loss pill could be beneficial for long-standing hearing loss, tinnitus, or maybe even helping individuals hear better in a background noise situation. However, after the major letdown of FX322 showing that there was no significant improvement in hearing ability during their phase 2 clinical trials, you have a right to be skeptical of any company that claims to have a potential cure. So when it's all said and done, we really need to wait and see the phase 2 FDA clinical trial results before we make a determination on whether or not we should get excited about this particular hearing loss pill. While the time frame for phase 2 clinical trials has not yet been announced, I would be surprised if they don't at least start them by 2022, because if you look at the Huff Ear Institute website, they are expecting to have this particular drug hit the market in the mid-2020s if everything goes as planned. Until that time, do yourself a favor and either protect your hearing by avoiding noisy situations or by wearing hearing protection. Of course, if you already have hearing loss, I highly recommend that you get your hearing tested and treated, whether it's with hearing aids, a surgical procedure, or even a cochlear implant. That way, if this drug is truly effective in reversing hearing loss, you would not have spent years in auditory deprivation, which may reduce the effectiveness of this drug on you. And if you do elect to treat your hearing loss, I highly recommend that you seek out a Best Practice Pro member in your area. Best Practice Pro members have been personally vetted by me to follow best practice guidelines of audiologic care to make sure that you get the maximum amount of benefit out of your hearing treatment. Experts speculate that less than 30% of hearing care professionals actually follow best practices consistently, and there are some experts who think that this number is being extremely generous. This is why finding a hearing care professional who follows these fundamental best practices is so critical to your success. To find a Best Practice Pro in your area, just go to drcliffaud.com and click on the Find a Local Provider tab. Once you're there, scroll down to the provider map and either search by city or zip code, or zoom into your area on the map to find the member closest to you. After clicking on More Info to learn more about your local Best Practice Pro, either give them a call to schedule an appointment or just click on the Request an Appointment tab so they can reach out to you. At the end of the day, the most important thing is to get you hearing again. And someday you'll be able to do that by taking a pill or getting an injection to reverse the hearing loss that you have. But until that day arrives, you still have to make sure that you keep the connection between your ears and your brain by treating your hearing loss. That's it for this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. If you liked the video, please share it. And if you want to see other videos just like this one, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, feel free to check out my website, drcliffaud.com.